Looking at the blue on a rainy night. No lie.
Have you ever seen a single photograph stop the internet in its tracks? One image, one moment, and suddenly the world holds its breath. Hi, I've got something incredible to share today. And if you're a member of ARMY, you're going to feel this one. Before we dive in, if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss a chapter in our BTS story. Because today, it's all about Kim Taehyung, also known as V, and how his latest post on Instagram has the world buzzing in real time. Emotional question to viewer. Tell me, when was the last time someone you admire completely surprised you, made your heart skip, and reminded you why you fell in love with them in the first place? Because when Taehyung drops a photo, he doesn't just post. He reminds us all exactly why we believe, why we watch, why we care. The unexpected drop. It all started innocently. Quiet day for ARMY, scrolling, sipping a coffee, maybe chatting about tomorrow's schedule. And then boom. Taehyung drops a photo on Instagram that instantly sends tremors through fan feeds across the globe. Think about it for a second. You're scrolling, maybe half asleep, when you see a post that makes your pulse race. That's what happened. For many ARMY around the world, it felt like the world paused. Notifications exploded. Screenshots flew. The moment captured more than just a face. It captured a feeling. And here's the twist. It wasn't a typical idol perfect shot. It wasn't a posed magazine cover. It wasn't some polished brand campaign. Felt raw, real. And that's exactly why it resonated so deeply. Because when someone you follow all the time breaks from expectation, you lean in, you stop, you say, wait, what is that? Why this photo mattered? Why did this one photo hit so hard? Let's peel back a few layers. The timing. Taehyung had just come off a period of relative quiet, the kind of silence that builds tension. Fans were waiting. The momentum had been quietly building. Then this drop. It hit at just the right time. The authenticity. Felt intimate. Perhaps it was the lighting. The expression. The background that hinted at an offstage, behind-the-scenes kind of moment. And when someone we idolize shows even a sliver of vulnerability or normalcy, it makes them human. It reminds us they are human. See, the connection. ARMY aren't just fans. We're a community. We watch out for each other. We interpret the lines of a photo, the shadow on a wall, the glint in a gaze. So when Taehyung released this photo, we responded not just as individuals, but as one collective heartbeat. The fan reaction real and raw. In the hours that followed, social media exploded. ARMY everywhere flooded timelines with reactions that ranged from awe to giddy laughter, from nostalgia to tears. Some fans said they felt chills. Others said their heart leapt in their chest. One comment, I remember reading it, said, I've seen him a million times, read his interviews, watched his dances, but this one photo made me see him for a moment. Moments like that stick. They remind us why we're here. Not just for the music, not just for the choreography, but for the connection. And the connection was two-way. Taehyung reading comments, watching reactions, knowing that millions of eyes, hearts, souls were tuned in. That's a lot of responsibility. But also, a lot of love. The hidden details. Here's where the story gets deeper. Because once you start looking, you realize this photo wasn't random. It was layered. Maybe the light struck his face in a certain way, casting one half in shadow. Maybe the background spoke of a place he'd quietly visited, unknown to most. Maybe his expression held a softness we don't often see in public mode. Taehyung. Fans started dissecting. Where was it taken? What was he thinking? Was that a new haircut? A new aura? They zoomed in, they compared, they speculated. And the speculation only deepened the emotional weight. Because when a simple image carries introspection, we feel invited in. We feel the shared invitation. Come closer. And that's powerful. From surprise to conversation. What began as a photo turned into conversations. Late-night chats in ARMY group chats, tweets flying into the early morning, story reposts, live streams where fans saw their own reactions mirrored by others globally. Maybe you were one of those chatting. Maybe you sent a screenshot to a friend. Look at this. Maybe you leaned back and whispered, "Wow." In the weeks that followed, reactions matured. Comments shifted from initial shock to deeper reflections. About him, about us, about the journey of the person behind the spotlight. It felt like we weren't just consuming content. We were sharing a moment. And you know, those are the moments that change fandoms. That shift how we feel. That deepen our devotion not just to the artist but to the story of the artist. And to the story of ourselves. The human behind the idol. Let's pause. Take a breath. Think about what it means to be someone like Taehyung. He's not just a singer, a performer, a global star. He's a human being who smiles, doubts, reflects, creates. That photo reminded us of that. And maybe that's why it hurts so beautifully. When we treat a star as flawless, invincible, untouchable, we distance ourselves. But when a star cracks open a little, lets a little vulnerability slip through, we lean in. We say, "Me too." And that's what Taehyung did. Without saying a word. With a single photo. The unexpected twist. Here's the kicker and the twist in our story. Usually when a celebrity drops a viral photo, we expect one thing. Staged, flawless, polished. But this wasn't that. It felt oddly imperfect in a perfect way. And that contradiction made it magical. That slipper in the corner of one photo. That off angle of his gaze. That subtle smile that felt like he was holding a secret. Suddenly the mistake became the statement. Imperfection became authenticity. And we couldn't get enough. And you know what? It opened something. Door. For Taehyung, for himself perhaps, but also for us. It said, it's okay to just be. Not always shiny. Not always PR perfect. Just you. And someone out there will see you. They will like you. Probably because you're real. Army's response. Global, united. Now let's zoom out. This wasn't just in Korea. This wasn't just in Seoul. This was everywhere. From Buenos Aires to New York, Tokyo to Lahore, Gujranwala to London. Army united in those feeds and stories. The timing of the post. The way screens lit up. The energy. Unmistakable. Stats started to roll in. Mentions skyrocketed. Hashtags trended. Fans logged in and felt we saw that. Together. That sense of we is what fandoms live for. But this moment, it reaffirmed it. We weren't passive consumers. We were participants. We were holding a shared breath. And then exhaling together. Chapter 9. Why this matters to you. You might be watching this and thinking, okay, big deal. A star posts a photo. But let me ask you, when have you had a moment where someone you admire surprised you, where you felt closer, deeper, more connected, and it changed something in you? Because that's what this is about. It's not solely about Taehyung. It's about connection. It's about vulnerability. It's about moments when we catch a glimpse of the person behind the persona, and we realize, we're not so different after all. Why this matters to you. You might be watching this and thinking, okay, big deal. A star posts a photo. But let me ask you, when have you had a moment where someone you admire surprised you, where you felt closer, deeper, more connected, and it changed something in you? Because that's what this is about. It's not solely about Taehyung. It's about connection. It's about vulnerability. It's about moments when we catch a glimpse of the person behind the persona, and we realize, we're not so different after all. Maybe tomorrow you'll post a photo. Maybe you'll send a message. Maybe you'll reach out, knowing that authenticity matters. Because if an idol can show it with one post, we can show it in our own lives too. The ripple effect. That one photo didn't live in isolation. It rippled. It influenced mood boards, fashion feeds, fan art, midnight streams, discussions about art, about flaw, about beauty. It became a prompt. What if we stop chasing perfect and just start being real? Because when someone with millions of followers drops a normal moment and fans go wild, what does that say? Says authenticity wins. Says truth resonates. And maybe, just maybe, it says that the best moments are the ones we catch off guard. The takeaway for Army and everyone. If you're an Army, this is your reminder. You are seen. Your excitement matters. Your reaction mattered. When the world lit up for Taehyung's photo, you were part of that light. And that is powerful. If you're not an Army, or even if you're just someone who watches from the side, let this be your reminder. When someone you admire drops something unexpected, lean in. Feel it. Let it remind you of your own story. Your own authenticity. Your own unexpected drop. Closing, the powerful end. So here we are at the end of the story, but really just at the start of the feeling. Why? Because the best moments are not over once they happen. They live on. In our comments, in our feeds, in our hearts. Taehyung's photo will fade from trending pages, sure. But the effect, that spark of realness, that connection, that tiny jolt of wow, that stays. For Army around the world. For you. For me. And now I'll ask one final question. Are you ready to carry that spark into your life? To embrace that surprise? To lean into authenticity? To live a little less staged, a little more you? Because if a star like Taehyung can remind us of that with one photo, imagine what you can remind the world of with one moment of truth. If you enjoyed this, hit like, share with your fellow Army, comment below with your reaction when you saw the photo for the first time, and don't forget to subscribe because we're just getting started. Until next time, stay real, stay inspired, and keep believing in the moments that take your breath away.